Where's Mommy's coffees? Yeah. Bird, you too. Stop it. You have to stay home. I'm sorry. Bye, baby. Love you. Be nice to each other. All right. Good. Bye, Dobby.
Good morning, everyone. As we come in, please, cameras on and on mute.
It's fine, anyway. Husband,
Good morning, everyone. Cameras on and on mute. Good morning, David Gray.
Good morning.
How are you?
Mate, a couple of minutes ago, I was in Linen and Birkenstocks on the red eye from Bali.
Oh, mate.
Now look at this, mate. I'm in the full Melbourne get up already, mate.
Yeah,
I got the boss and the boots on within minutes, mate.
it's a quick reality. It's a quick
Straight.
reality check.
Straight to Crown Towers.
You poor bastard.
Yeah, mate. I do this for all of you. Remember that.
Poor bastard. Good morning, everyone. As we come in, please, cameras on and on mute.
A lot chirpier than you'd be after a red eye, that's for sure.
You know me, I only go flatbed, so I'm quite fine on a flight.
Mm.
I'm not down at 104J next to the bathrooms.
Mm.
Cameras on, please, and on mute. Cameras on.
Rosie, can you just face the cool. I'm just trying to do my hair with those sunnies. Thanks, Rosie. Appreciate it. Killing it today, Rosie. Killing it.
Two things at once. Teaching
Hey,
drive
kid.
and food.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Cameras on, everyone, as we're coming in.
And I got your text message, Benny from Grafton, that I got to slow it down today so Candy can keep up. So yeah, no problem, buddy. No problem. I'll do that for Grafton. Any big words, I'll send through an explanation later. Morning, Mr. O'Brien.
Cameras on, everyone, please.
Where's John?
I just sent him the link. He should be on.
I don't know how to get this camera on.
Good morning. Good morning. Good
I know Team Benny left. I must have upset them.
Oh. Good morning, everyone. Cameras on, please, as we come in and on mute.
Hey, Al. Need a coffee, Jamie?
How did you guess, Dave?
Fucking very inspiring just looking at her there. All the age of fucking 22. Life's tough, mate. Life's fucking tough.
Oh, tell me about it.
Mm.
All right.
Where are you? Back in the country?
Yeah, mate. Down in Melbourne. Melbourne.
Oh, that's why you got the jacket on.
Yeah. Quick change, mate. Quick change.
Just going to read.
Good morning. Hey, Jake. How
Hey.
are you, mate?
No Johnny McManus. Hey, Broads.
Just ringing. Stand by.
Hey Dave, got the puffer jacket on, mate.
Yeah, mate. I just landed in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Mate, it was quick. Like, compared to Sydney Airport, it was insane.
Cool.
That red eye is never fun, but from back from Bali, let me tell you.
Who'd you fly with?
I came back on Qantas.
Are you in a limo, Dave?
No, mate, I'm in just a taxi, mate.
We've just got some technical issues. Bear with me a minute.
Sounds like user error.
Go on your phone then if it's not working.
If anyone knows John McManus, he's the most OCD human on the planet. Now my whole questions are gonna call him Mr. Professional Real Estate. I was, Jakey. I don't know where I'm going now.
Be nice.
iPhone.
about it.
Is that, I think that must be Johnny, is it?
Are you coming in?
I think he's out the front, blower vacuum.
Oh, hang on.
John iPhone just joined.
Are we on, everyone?
Where are you, Mr. McManus?
And let me show my face.
Show.
Hello.
Can you see me?
No, you're not showing your face, mate.
Fuck's sake.
It's all right. It's not a bad face for radio, Johnny. So
I'll get nicked. I'm pretty attracted. All right, I can't see you. I can't see my face, so you'll have to go visual only.
all right,
audio.
we'll just get going, Mr. McManus. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. John is a very, very busy agent, so to make the time today, we do appreciate it. John, mate, you really started you're one of the first very professional real estate agents that came on and really treated it like a profession and really owned a suburb in a suburb called Willoughby. Mate, what are the steps you took to make a mark to become that professional agent?
He's on mute now.
Like learning to use technology. We got him, Jay? We lost him.
Can you hear me?
Got you now, John.
Yeah.
Okay. So, hey, thanks guys for having me on board. And if I can ever help any of you one-on-one, just give me a call anytime. Always happy to help your brand. The people that run the brand, they're one of the best. Now, I was given a little patch in Willoughby over the years to go and prospect, because in the Artarmon patch where I'm farming at the moment, there was a guy called Gil Davis who wrote a book. He was probably one of the best agents in the Lower North Shore at the time. He's gone on to be a professor now at Macquarie Uni, so he's a very clever man. I learned everything from him. He always told me that if you're going to be successful in real estate, you have to farm an area. So he basically said to me, know the numbers in your area, know how many houses, how many apartments, how many townhouses, how many semis are in the area. And what you then need to do is basically just farm that patch. You don't want to have too big a patch. A lot of people think, well, geez, I'll go and prospect everywhere and I'll take every deal that I can. What you're better off doing is, if it's not in your area, cut a deal with another agent. If you don't have anything on at the time, fine, work with the other agent that owns that patch and split the com 50-50. You'll get more leverage out of doing that, because if it swings and roundabouts, it goes the other way, the other agent will help you do the same thing, give you the listing, and then you can split the com. So for me, it's important that you do just prospect in your patch. So the way I did it is, someone that lives in an area that I'm prospecting in needs to see something from me at least once a week or once a fortnight. So what I did was I basically got DL cards. I got results from the office, because I didn't have anything at the time. So I'm going from when I started.
Yeah, perfect.
I took all the office sales, I put it on a DL card, I dropped the streets, I dropped them newsletters, and I door knocked everybody in my core business area, gave them my business card, and basically found out if people were looking at selling. The renters, I went and found out who the landlords were and grew my pipeline that way.
And my sister lives in that patch. And be fair to say, whether they use you or not, like you or not, but there'd be no one in Willoughby selling a bit of real estate that you probably don't know or don't know you. Yeah, John?
Correct. So I think at the end of the day, go and use your local coffee shops, sit there, do some of your work from there, get to know the local barista. He knows everything. Get to, get your hair cut in the local area. I think you've got to farm your area and just get to know every single person in the patch. But I think at the end of the day, a lot of agents think I'll put the listing on, sell it as quick as I can, and that's it. So
Yeah.
just use this as a bit of a leverage point. Keep the listing for at least 2 weeks. So the people that are sitting in your database or your client list, whatever you want to call it, get them to come through the open house. So you meet all your neighbors the very first week. That's key. Then just invite maybe, 6 or 12 people that you have in your database to come through. So at least then neighbors aren't just seeing neighbors. But this is an opportunity for you to meet every neighbor in that street. So you invite them to your open home. You make sure that you contact them once you've sold it, but keep it for at least 2 weeks so that you can farm it. Because what's really the key of this industry is that every young agent wants to sell it quickly and go out there and say, we had it for 7 days, we sold it to our database, and we got a record price for a yellow door. So the thing for me is that if you keep it for a couple of weeks, you get to see who the people are actively looking at buying and selling. So there's only 3 sorts of people, and I worked out very quickly that there's an investor, there's a seller, and there's someone that's actually in the house looking at their agent. So they're working you out whether they want to work with you. So they're seeing how you actually manage your sales, I guess, people coming through the property. So I think at the end of the day, every open house that I have, and I've said this for years, and it's increased now because the volume of what the properties cost has gone up. So for me, every listing that you have in Sydney, I don't know what it's worth up there, but if I was to say to you right now, every one of my listings are worth 350,000 GCI on top of what I'm currently selling that particular property for. This is all new leads. So you got to think the long game. So if you're in your patch and you've got 1,000 properties, you don't want any more than that. Now, I don't know what it's like in your patch, but I would have thought 500 to 800 would be sufficient and really farm them. The thing is with a lot of agents is that everybody goes out to try and find new opportunities, but your data that's coming through your open home, there's your opportunity straight away. So I'll elaborate on that. And I worked it out really quickly. So everyone that comes through the open house has got something to sell, or they've got an investment property.
And John, you know,
I'm losing you.
yeah,
Are
you
you
got
there?
me, Jakey. Can you hear me?
Yeah, got your back, got your back.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. So John, your level of professionalism is second to none. So your quality open for inspections, your marketing, your brochure, your presentation. We all know about your car washing. Where did you get that from, and why is that so important to be above your competitors when it comes to professionalism?
Well, the problem is everybody does the same thing in real estate. So if you look at the guy down the road and he's putting DL cards in the letterbox and he's having some success, you go and copy it. I think what you got to do is you got to be a little bit more inventive than that. And you got to think to yourself, let me set myself above everybody else and do something that's totally different. So you show up at an open house, you park at the front of the house. A lot of people, high performing agents, say, I'll park down the road. But really, if they're going to list with you, you've got to have a good strategy and you've got to have the key fundamentals. So if the person walks out to the front door and says goodbye to you, you've got a massive chance. What they do is they look at the car that you drive, and if it's clean, fantastic. You're a little bit of a starter. If you've got nice clean shoes, you've got a beautiful pressed suit. You got a nice, I'm wearing ties now. I got away from wearing ties to listing presentations, but geez, you go to a doctor or a solicitor, you go for advice and they give you recommendations and advice. You sit in front of them and you think to yourself, wow, this is a person I want to work with. A real estate agent shows up in a dirty car, lint all over their suit. The shoes is not clean. You stand in front of mum and dad, they're going to go, well, geez, the last guy came through, or the last woman that came through was a cut above this guy, although he had a good process, but I don't know whether I can go down that path because I think he's bullshitting to me. So you can't bullshit the people because they'll work it out pretty quickly. Yeah. But use the high performing people in your office that are having a good go at it. You're better off getting half of something rather than nothing. And that's why I always say to young agents, hang around the guys that are making a lot of money, see what they do, learn from them, because the old adage of success leaves clues. I think that's a massive thing for the young guys coming through. And I'm guessing there's a lot of these young agents that are listening at the moment. But you got to set yourself apart everybody else. Just don't go on Instagram and have a social page that people can see, you in a bikini or your boardies or at a nightclub. Don't put that on your professional page. Maybe have it on your own personal one, but block it so it's only your mate seeing it.
Yeah.
But geez, that can bring you unstuck really quickly.
Yeah, and mate, we've got a mixture, and I was just seeing some of the figures, and we're getting some different people in our business doing different figures at different times. You've been at the top of the game for a long time. How do you, at the beginning of every season, get rev back up? Like, how do you keep at the top of your game? What keeps you going, John?
So I worked 10 months of the year now, and you've just got to get your energy, but you got to set your goals. So, Dr. Fred has always said 10s, 25s, 50s, and 100s.
Yeah.
So you got to reward yourself and give yourself consequences.
Yep.
I think at the end of the day, plan a trip away. So whether it's going to Whistler skiing or buying a new car, a new house, having a nice holiday, or getting new suits, whatever it might be, you got to reward yourself for all the hard work that you're putting in.
Yep.
But the thing is, it's no good blaming, being a victim of yourself and blaming the guy next to you or the girl next to you that, geez, I've got no money in the bank account. Well, just hang on a second. Look at the prospecting plan that you've put in place and look at the pipeline that you've created. You sit there in the office hoping that someone's going to give you a handout. It's not going to come. You've got to go get it yourself. And the harder you work, the luckier you get. And, your bank account, forget about the money side of it. Do the right processes of prospecting, doing the listing presentation, pay yourself to get some training, do as much training as you can with the high performers in your business, the ones that are making all the money, and then leave money aside, and then money will take care of itself.
Yeah. And then, John, you would have seen different people come through at different stages in their career. And, we're lucky regional Australia is pretty good with ego, but we can still fall into the trap where we get ahead of ourselves. How have you kept ego or actually, you're not probably the best person to ask for that. How do other people keep ego in track, John?
I'm fairly humble. I couldn't give a shit at the end of the day, pardon the French, but I think at the end of your career, you want to either leave a legacy of people actually think, he's actually a decent bloke. People look at me and think, geez, it's hard to break through and actually get to talk to him. All you got to do is pick up the phone, come and have a coffee with me, and you'll work out that I'm not the person that you thought I was. But you've got to really stay humble in this business because people will help you. So I get referrals every year. So my referral base is probably $500,000 in referrals a year.
Yeah.
People just go, McManus, I know you're the one that sells a lot of property in that area. Here's a name, phone number of someone, just flick me 20%. And from that lead, I go, shit, I'm losing 20%, but just think of how much you're gaining because that signboard goes up with your name on it. Then all of a sudden you get 2 or 3 more leads from there. So that's where, you've got to park your ego to one side. You're breathing the same air as someone that's making a lot of money. You'll die the same way as that person. So just be smart when you're on this planet and work hard, work smart, share your life learnings with other people and your business will grow organically.
And mate, just so the team know, I mean, on a rough year, what's your market share in the last few years? Roughly, what do you write a year?
My target's anywhere between 3 to 4.
That's not hundreds of thousands, guys. That's millions.
That's millions, guys.
That's millions, guys. That's millions. Yeah.
So if I work really hard, you could probably write 5 to 6. But I'm 55. I'm training a bunch of guys. I got 2 on my team at the moment as salespeople. I've got 2 more that I've employed, and probably a 3rd one that I'm going to get. So I'll have 5 lead generators, prospectors that I'll just hand over the baton to them and just take a clip at some point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's a big change. I mean, that would be a subject just to chat about just there, John, because what I find in a lot of elite salespeople, about market share numbers too,
I'd sell about 75% of houses in Artarmon, and I'd probably as high as about 40% in Willoughby.
Wow. And
Yeah.
guys, anyone that knows, that's some of the most competitive marketplaces around. Got some really good competitors around that area. So John, you know, on behalf of the team, mate, thanks for talking to the team and chatting. But before we finish up, I know we've got, you know, some elite sales guys that are now and women that are now looking to build teams and things like that. You know, I find that top performing sales agents aren't always great at that. What are some of the lessons you've had in recent to
From
slowly
what I
realize
can
that
see
it's
with-
not the McManus show and you got to, you know, you start building the next generation?
Yeah, from what I see is that you've got to have clarity for people and you've got to have systems and processes. The problem that you have, if you don't have systems and processes and clarity for your team on job description and that sort of stuff, you'll find there's too much crossover. And the problem is you think that Joe's doing one job and Joanne's doing another, but then they both sit in there and they look at each other and think, well, what the hell are you doing? So I think rather than giving people patches that are working in an EBU, I think it's probably best that you say, listen, what we're going to do is have a meeting every morning and put structure in place so that everybody knows what they got to do and have a process when a property is being listed, what needs to be done from there. And when a property is sold, what needs to be done from that position as well. Because I've met a lot of people that have got teams and I ask the team members, how's it all going? And they go, you know what, on the surface, it seems like it's all well oiled, but it's actually a disaster because they've got no processes. They just expect a high performing agent just expects the younger agents to know what they're doing, but they've got no process.
Yeah,
So
I often say 1+. You know, at first you get someone on board and you're only about half because you're slowing down to teach them, and then you equal one person, then you equal 1.5. And the whole idea of having more than you and your team is you got to get leverage. So I always say 1 + 1 should equal 3, and if you got 3, it should equal 5, and get that type of leverage, mate. I talk to the team. We're lucky in regional Australia. Like, I mean, to do those type of hours, like you and your competitors that do numbers like you, it would have been a 7 to 7 o'clock business. Is that fair to say?
yeah, I get in at 7:30 and I don't leave till about 7:30.
Yeah.
And then I go home, have dinner, and then I'm answering emails and just getting ready for the next day. So by the time sort of 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock comes around, I'm sort of trying to wind down, but 10:30, 11 o'clock is pretty much when I do wind down. The thing is, you talk to a lot of high money earner agents, and they tell you all the bullshit when they're sitting on the stage. And you know, you go to Arik and that sort of stuff, and you listen to them, and you think to yourself, "There's no way in the world that he could be writing the numbers with what he's telling you on stage." So it's a little bit of smoke and mirrors. But if you get in there and get dirty, you reward yourself. You only have to work 10 months of the year, and you make your money. And you sit on a nice beach somewhere and going, geez, I really deserve this.
And what I love is where we are in regional Australia. Mate, our competitors are 9 to 5. So, you know, if we're 8 to 6 or 8 to 5, I talk about intensity, but so like, it's not about a number count for us. It's like, let's just, so how do you keep that intensity in a day, mate? Like that fucking Johnny McManus intensity that we know.
So I basically have a strategy. So when I get in the morning, I clear my inbox. And then from about 10 o'clock onwards, I'm just on the phone the whole day. So, you know, I've got a lot of friends that call me up and say, can you come and have a coffee with me? It's like, well, that's half an hour to 45 minutes out of my day. And if you work out how much you earn per hour, that could be 2,500 to 3,000.
It's expensive coffee.
Yeah. So I look at it as, you know, I've got mates and they can come and see me Saturday afternoon from 5 o'clock onwards, and they can catch up with me on Sunday. But when I've got work channel on, it's a school night. So I'm working 100 miles an hour because I guess at the end of the day, there's no tomorrow real estate. You've got to make the money today, and you've got to build your profile today. Like a lot of people say, well, I'll leave it till I get older. Well, and have fun. You can have fun while you're working today, but geez, you're rewarded, you know, very handsomely in this industry.
Yeah. And I can tell you, I mean, to finish up, you still love it, yeah?
Oh, I love it. You know, I don't like running second. So I don't care about all the trophies and all the accolades that come with it. I just love winning the battle on the ground. When I go to
you want to win the listing. You want to win the listing.
Yeah, when I go in the listing presentation, is like, I'm going to deliver 110% so I can get this job and I can work with these people I really like, because they're going to reward me at the end of it, and they're going to write me a nice testimonial. I really don't give, rats about the cash, but they're going to write me a nice testimonial. People are going to talk about me, and it's going to be nice.
Yeah, beautiful.
That's what I'd rather.
I'm lucky enough to about to walk into Jealous Craig at 9 o'clock for a training session there. Jake,
Beautiful.
here to finish off, mate. You got something to say? I can see your mate Stewie War here, Johnny McManus. So
Oh, okay.
I'm down in Melbourne with Stewie. Yeah.
Oh, well, say hello to him.
I will. Jake, finish off for me.
Have fun. Thank you, DG. So, J-Mac, I think as we finish up, I'd like to end it with 3 things that if you were coming into a new market today, let's say you were moving up to Port Macquarie, and guys, if that happened, you fucking all lose your jobs.
No, they wouldn't. I'd work with them.
Tell me 3 things that you would do.
So if I'm coming up to a new marketplace, I'd study the agents selling in the area first, see who the high performers are and who's making all the money. I would then really pull their business apart. So I'd work out what sort of marketing strategies they have. I would then find out what they do day to day as far as listing presentations, appraisals, who they've got in their team, and just try and understand from looking at the websites and looking at their websites and their personal Instagram, study them that way, and then start breaking it apart. Then what I'd do is I'd put a full marketing campaign together, pretty much targeting them. Now, at the end of the day, agents always talk about the really good stuff. They don't really talk about the bad stuff. So what I do is I turn the positive stuff that the opposition's talking about and just have a twist on it. So it has an angle that people will go, you know what, we would like to have a second opinion. And that's when you can crush them. So there was 4 agents in my area that did really well before I started. I did exactly that. I studied their full strategy on how they went about selling. I took all their marketing, pulled it aside, dissected the whole lot, and then turned it around to actually make it that they weren't exactly 100% right. That I was more the option for them. So I gave them a second option. Now only one of those sells the odd property or 2 in my patch. I've squished them out of the area over the course of 5 years.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
And
So
finally,
it's just strategy.
100%. And I think, knowing you and having worked with you, you're very strategic, John.
But once a week or once a fortnight, you need to be in everyone's letterbox or everyone's inbox. Not being a pain in the ass that you're telling them nothing, but you've got to give them something. And I think that's where your market share will grow very quickly.
100%. And to finish off, I think, we talk about, we've got a great team that, reaches out, but still, there's still to go through dialogue, to go through process, to go through, tell me, even you still at your caliber and at your level, you're still reaching out to people and going through things and role playing, getting different people's opinions on deals and things. How important is that to you? And how do you think that's important to someone that's growing?
Oh, I think in real estate or in life itself, you never stop learning. Right now I'm actually coaching three of the sales agents within our business, and all the directors have got 3 each. So what I'm doing is when I'm doing role play with those guys and, they're doing role play back with me, I'm actually learning again some of the things that I'd forgotten or wasn't using. Because I think when you become a high net worth individual and you're doing quite well in your own business, you tend to sort of miss out the key elements that made you great. I say this sometimes to my guys: listen, when you first started real estate and then you became successful, there was 10 things there that you were doing religiously every day, but now that you are becoming successful, you forget about those 10 things. You might only do 3 of them now. So the thing is, you become complacent very, very quickly on how much money you're making and where you're going. You forget all the gold dust and you leave it out there. So I think if you are going to grow a business, just make sure that you don't forget all the good stuff that made you great in the first place.
100%. Well, thank you. We're coming up to 9 o'clock, team. Thank you very much, John. for
That's all
coming.
right.
We're very lucky to have you.
No problem. I'm
thank
here
you.
for you. If you need any help, anybody's got any questions, Jake, pass on my number and they can give me a call if they get stuck with anything. It's an easy fix in this industry, but it's all about headspace. Get your head positive and be humble and you'll win business, but know your market area and the stats. That's the key.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, J-Mac. Have a great day out there.
No worries. All right,
and I'll
guys.
see you next time.
All right.
Thank you,
Take care.
everyone.
Good luck, everyone.
Enjoy the day.
Okay, same. Bye.